Now, just before this quick update about the cannabis situation in Thailand, I just wanted to invite you to check out beachhousethailand.com for a bespoke, nice, quiet stay just north of Phuket on well, it's actually the longest beach in Thailand. So that's beachhousethailand.com. Now on with the news. Hi, welcome to TNT all the way here from Penang. I'll be here for at least a week. Just to clarify, I'm here to get a non-B visa, which is a business visa. It also entails, when I get back to Thailand, getting a work permit. So to get the visa that I'm getting, you have to leave the country to get the non-B visa, and you don't know whether it's going to take 2 days, 3 days, a week or longer. So I'm here until I get that application fixed. But today we are talking about cannabis. We haven't spoken about it much because, well, really nothing much has been happening. Ever since the Thai government came to power, there have been threats of some sort of wind back of what's basically been a free-for-all with this particular herb ever since in June 2022, the then Health Minister Anatin Charnvirakul, who's also the leader of the coalition Phunjai Thai Party, unilaterally decided as minister to decriminalise the use of cannabis. What we've seen out on the streets ever since is, well, what's happened. Now, that crackdown hasn't happened, but this is the latest information we have, and it looks like slowly that particular act, that particular issue, is coming to the top of the pile. Let's go to the Bangkok Post story. And the headline of the Bangkok Post story, cannabis users in Thailand will need medical certificates. Well, as usual, the devil's in the detail. Let's go to the story and see if we can make sense of all this. It says the Public Health Minister says that cannabis users in Thailand will be required to have medical certificates to make sure the plant is used for medical purposes only. And he notes that this is the latest twist in a long and confusing journey. Well, yes, it has been long and confusing. The YouTubers, lawyers, even ministers and the media have confused the matter over the time, so people aren't really exactly sure what's going on, but entrepreneurs have used this time of confusion to open up, as you know, thousands of these cannabis shops, making it look like it's basically legally, recreationally, although just about everybody in the government, including Anatin Charnvirakul, has said that was never the intention. And quoting the minister, and this is a bit contrary, he says cannabis smokers may have to show medical certificates, and then his next sentence, foreign and Thai cannabis users must have medical certificates. And this was all announced at a media conference yesterday in Bangkok. He says, we will order government organisations to keep enforcing the law and not to allow any problems to develop. And the article says the key change would require cannabis users to have a medical certificate with prescriptions issued by licensed medical professionals, including both traditional Thai medicine practitioners and general physicians. And Mr. Somsak said he wanted to see the regulations issued by the Ministry of Public Health within 40 days. And further down there, he said the regulations would make it clear that cannabis use is for medical treatment only. Now, you might be getting ahead of me already and thinking that, well, all these shops are going to do is they're going to employ full-time a medical professional who's going to issue prescriptions at the shop. But thinking about the business structure of a lot of these shops, which are quite small retail outfits and many of them already struggling, that would add a lot of additional cost, and it's either going to have to be passed on to the customer or they're going to close down. And then he says in the future there may have to be medical certificates to prove that users suffer from diseases such as seizures, headache, pain and insomnia. And then a bit more ominously he says that as for punishment, I'll discuss the possibility of imprisonment. So they're the latest threats from the Public Health Minister, saying that something's going to be done within 40 days. But here we are in May 2025 and we still don't have a Cannabis Control Act ahead of the Thai Parliament. Certainly hasn't even been discussed or debated, and the final details are still not known, although I think we've got an idea of where they're going with this. But just some quick history. And the Bangkok Post article says that decriminalising cannabis has been a flagship policy of the Phunjai Thai Party, which saw the potential for creating a lucrative cannabis-based economy. Well, with all the best goodwill and intentions, this lucrative cannabis-based economies never really happened. That's because there are no proper rules and regulations published so that investors have got some sort of, 100% guarantee that they'll be able to invest and get some sort of return. And going back nearly 3 years, Thai leader Anatin Javitakun was the Minister of Public Health in the government of General Prayut Chan-o-cha. He issued a ministerial regulation removing cannabis from the national list of narcotic drugs. And many twisting that definition around to saying, it's decriminalised or legalised. And obviously there are subtle legal differences. But few other regulations existed to govern cannabis usage, and a free-for-all ensued, with recreational use skyrocketing and weed shops sprouting all over the country. And the Thai government last September proposed a new bill to regulate the cannabis industry and restrict marijuana use to primary health and medical purposes, the latest effort to rein in recreational smoking after several policy U-turns. But the bill has not yet been introduced in the House of Reps. And it finishes saying the draft legislation calls for licensing rules on cannabis planting, sales, exports and imports to be tightened, with current growers, suppliers or related businesses required to have or apply for new licenses or permits or face hefty jail terms or fines. So all the people involved in the business, they might have a shop, but they might be invested somehow, people who maybe just use cannabis. They're all running around with their hair on fire today thinking, what the hell's going on? Another pronouncement from the minister. More questions can be asked than answers have been provided. And I think everybody, one way or the other, would be happy if some final decisions can be made, some Cannabis Control Act can be debated and passed, and then people can move on within the legal framework and adjust their businesses accordingly. Meanwhile, the Thai party, the second largest coalition member, have got their own problems. And that's another story for another day. Suffice to say, the coalition is currently looking very shaky. But we'll discuss that in another video. We don't do a lot of politics here. But thanks for watching today. Please subscribe to the channel, and we thank you for watching.